many teachers have moved away from classroom rules, and they're setting what they call guidelines or agreements. However, when they do it, what typically happens is kids say, first of all, they say, don't hit, don't run, don't call out, don't interrupt, right? And there's two issues with that. So the first issue is usually kids are just regurgitating, what they think you want to hear or what they've always been told. And the other issue is that children need to be explained what to do rather than what not. So if you're watching this, I'd like you to do this quick experiment. I'd like you to close your eyes, unless you're listening to this while you're driving or operating heavy machinery, but I'd like you to close your eyes. It won't work if your eyes are open. And just listen and notice what you notice. Don't run in the hallway. Don't leave your books on the floor. Don't push your friend. Don't see a pink elephant. Now open your eyes. What did you see? Most likely you saw someone running down the hall, you saw someone pushing or a pile of books on the floor, and you probably saw a pink elephant, even if you were trying to change the color. So first we want to think about, the brain and how it processes language and how we can use our language more effectively in the classroom and how we can use it to connect, because some of you were probably hearing the don't and you wanted to rebel, right? So the don't didn't feel good. So there's two reasons why we want to move away from the don't. One is because do language feels better, it's more positive. And two, the brain doesn't process the don't, it processes the action. So when the kids give me things like don't hit, don't run, don't interrupt, I'll do that activity with them. And then we will change the language. So it might sound something like be kind, be respectful, take turns, right? Walk quietly, raise your hand to speak, use your inside voice. When we brainstorm, we want to get everybody's ideas down. That's what we don't analyze. We want everyone to contribute. Now, a lot of the time you'll hear repetition. And once we get everyone's ideas down, then again, putting them into groups and having them come up with categorizing, what fits into what, so that we can get down to some basic ones, which are going to include lots of kind of sub-agreements within them. But you want to have them really clear and concise, because too much can be overwhelming. Let's say you want to have 5 solid classroom agreements, and then you divide them into, let's say, 5 groups, and you give each group one of the agreements, and you give them a suggested role play, and you just let them have fun role playing. What does it look like when they follow the agreement? What does it look like when they don't? And you can have them moving around kind of the stations. And then the other thing that we do that's really helpful is we have them go through the process of what does each agreement look like and what does it sound like in our classroom, in our environment. So for example, I work a lot at international schools, and respect is something that comes up everywhere, right? We need to respect ourselves, others, and the environment. But what does respect look like and sound like in our classroom, in our culture? Because respect looks very different in different cultures, right? In some cultures, children are told to look the adult in the eye to show respect when they're talking to them. And in some cultures, children are told to look down and not make eye contact to show respect. So what does it look like in our classroom and sound like? Being safe is another one that comes up very often. So what does it look like and sound like in our environment? It looks very different in different classrooms. When you're in a physical education class, safety is big. You're using different equipment. That's going to look different than in, a history class, with safety.
So they'll bring different perspectives to the classroom, and it's really important that we all talk about it and get kind of on the same page, so that we can really actualize some of these things that we want to happen in the classroom. It's not going to happen all at one time, and situations will arise where someone might think that they're being respectful and truly someone else might not agree. So giving kids time and space to talk about that and to really come together and understand each other's point of view is key. In fact, if we did that in society today, we'd probably be a lot better off.